Residents in various parts of Gauteng continue to experience water shortages, sometimes for days with no clear explanation from officials. The latest affected areas include Midrand as well as Fourways in the north of Johannesburg. This morning, Joburg Water will give clarity on some of these issues that it's dealing with in the city. Newzroom Afrika's Zola Sholwana is covering that story for us. And Zola, this morning we find you at a river and seeing that there are some people that are just behind you. Tell us about what has forced them to use the river.
Well, Alton, these residents have been living without water for just over a week now. I'm sure you're able to see that they are trying to get water so that they're able to survive, because as it stands, they don't know when they will have running water in their taps. Earlier on, we saw cars pass here, trucks, and also, bikes. And we really thought that perhaps these people fetch this water so that they can flush their houses. And we were told that they actually use this water to cook because they have no choice at this present moment. Most of these people cannot afford to buy bottled water, and they are saying that all they are trying to get right now is to, get water to survive, essentially. You are told that there's actually a sewer that deposits into the stream where you see these people fetch water. The elderly find themselves having to carry wheelbarrows to fetch this water. I'm going to ask my colleague to show you how the water looks like, Aljan. It does not even look clean for consumption, but at this point they've got no choice but to use what is available for them until they get answers from the water utility. I'm going to see if we're able to speak to some of the residents and really, so they can paint a picture of how it feels like living like this. Mama, ke lebogelana kwa hao. Le phela yang mo?
Yona I rege each and every time is for the first time, but aba re informa gore metsi a tla tsamaya for how long.
So metsi a elwa gang mo lo berekisa for eng?
Everything, toilet, flush, le go tlatsa washing because there's no water.
Okay. Sesi o mpoleletse gore metsi a le na lo apea ka ona.
Re na lo apea ka ona cause a re fihla re a boila ra tshela ka mara di bucket a mangwe ra bia ka mo fridging for onwa.
So a le bona ditraka le dikoloi. Sorry. A le bona dikoloi di ntse di feta mona le ga metsi le ikutlwa yang?
A re na choice cause a re na metsi re sokola metsi ene le ba tsamaisa metsi ha ba re botsa pele ene le ditraka a ditle di pleke tse ka fela di aka kwa bo 26 ka kwa ene ka mo re tletse ka ba gekolo mo 114 le ba galabe le di holenzo a ba khone o kry metsi.
So o tla ga ikae mo go tloga metsi ka letsatsi?
Ke tla 3 or 4.
Batho ba baholo bona ba survive yang ka gone ke a bona tsela e ke distance go tswa mo le nnang teng go tla mo in this river?
Ba bangwe ba no khopela bana hore ba ba khaele, ba bangwe ba kena door to door ba re feng di 10 rand re gone tlo legela metsi ka monokeng.
Thank you very much. Well, that's how people are surviving here, Aldrin, in this particular river. There's a lot of activity that happens here. We see cars, make their way. They actually use this route to get to the other side. We see people that would just randomly walk. And you heard this lady say that sometimes they use this water for cooking and drinking because they cannot afford to actually buy water at this point. I'm just trying to see if we'll be able to speak to more residents because, like I said, Aljan, there's a lot of activity that happens here with people, coming in numbers because this is currently their source of water until they get answers from the water utility. They're saying that it's been silent from, Joburg Water. Nobody has been really telling them what's going to happen now. Let me bring in another lady who's also been complaining about how people are surviving here. Mama, ke lebogelana kwa hao. You did say gore ha se bophelo bo.
A se bophelo ebile a re nya ke so ka taba ya gore re ba re na go ya go bouta e fitlile ba re boute ene gana bjalo so ba re trafa ba re khisha metsi a ditshila mo go tlhapa gona di sangoma mo ba thabisha gona di badi ja batho. Yeah.
ba bang ba kga metsi ana ba wanwa ba pheya ka wona ko ntlong
ka nnete ba kga metsi a banwa ka ona ba nwesha le bana ba lwala ke poison metsi a re a nyake betere ba re nyakele diteraka tse pedi ambo tse tharo poloko ye nngwe le nngwe go tsene teraka e re fe metsi gore bana ba rena ba kgone go phela bana ba ya sekolong ba tlhapa ka metsi a ditšhila bana ba tlile go lwala bana ba tlile go tswa dišo. Thank you very much.
Ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. Well, this is how these residents have been living for the past week, Aljon. Fetching water, it's even more difficult for the elderly because they have to ask the younger ones to, assist them in carrying this water. We are told that that also comes at a price sometimes. They have to carry these buckets that you see. Some have to come more than once because obviously water is a necessity. There's really nothing that you can do without, water at this point. We are hoping to hear from the water utility what's going to happen. Are these people going to live like this for the next couple of days, as they are saying that they sometimes are forced to consume this water? And really, if you look at the water, Aljon, it's not safe and clean for consumption. Back to you in studio.
Well, and that press briefing from Joburg Water expected a bit later on today. The Sowetan reporting this morning as well that the South Hills councillor has now taken this matter to the South African Human Rights Commission to complain about the lack of water in some of the areas, including South Hills as well. Thank you so much for that update there, Zola Sholwana. And this is a basic commodity that we are speaking about.